on today's video, we're about to wrap up HURRAH versus JWM. The most anticipated war in Lost Kingdom is reaching its end. Let's go see how HURRAH managed to at least survive for a little bit longer. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to the Gekko. What you guys are seeing right here is us burning a flag, a BNW flag. Last video, part 3 of this war series, which if you haven't seen is going to be linked in with the card up on the top, was all about us fighting back towards the end, swarming DXD, and DXD actually didn't lose much at all. We took much bigger damage than he did, and that 0 now was more for us than him. But anyway, we pushed out. This is where I was like, okay, the next flag is right there. Can someone port next to it? Yes, so I really need to block that area. Can anyone else port there? No. Cool. Let's send a march out there just to make sure nobody ports in to try to secure this flag out. So most of JWM are in Arc of Osiris, and at this point we said screw it. We're gonna push back. We're gonna get us this, at least a little bit of breathing air. So we wanted to take a couple of flags at the bottom, a couple of flags at the top. This rally right here went towards the flag up top and failed. It did a good amount of damage, but it did not take the flag out. It did not burn the flag, which was JWM's up on the top of our pass. And we went in parallel to the bottom area where B and W were and started really attacking their flags and anything around here. We had a wild card, which was one of our family alliances, H2GH, HURRAH 2, I guess. They are our family alliance, and they had placed a fortress way out there in the center of, or well, further out in the center of this zone. And we had done this previously. Well, you guys saw it in a few videos ago, but BNW seemed to have completely ignored that fortress right there, which led to a pretty decent offensive by HURRAH 2. These guys showed everything they had when they realized, you know, this is the moment where we have to try to get something done. If we burn this flag and the other flag, that's 2 flags in the middle of the chain, making the rest of them ineffective, and we can burn those. So it was a really, really great push by them and by Ayla from our alliance, who noticed this, instantly went there, led rallies, solo fought in the battlefield against tier 5s with her tier 5s. It was unbelievable how these guys managed to sneak out a couple of flags and really get the BNW side to have to build a little bit more before a double rally is doable on our pass again. Meanwhile, we find Julius, who did get rallied this time and solo swarmed, kind of the same drill as DXD. I don't think he lost anything here. He took pretty decent severely wounded, but I'm pretty sure that his garrison took the biggest beating of it, and we took a huge loss compared to him. Again, this was just having fun, trying to get some kills, trying to ruin someone's day. It was not really an attempt to get... I don't think we knew we would get anything done out of this. I'm pretty sure we all knew that as long as we can get a couple of them a bit upset, it would be a victory, I guess. I don't know. I'm not in the swarm. I'm not about the life of swarming a tier 5 player. Nothing good can come out of it, especially when you don't have tier 5s in the mix as well, which at this point we kind of had some tier 5s in here, but not enough to actually merit a merit this. You're gonna see the kill count on Julius just went up ginormously. He did take some severely wounded from the rally right here, but again, turns out that was more the garrison that was garrisoning him, and well, some of his tier 5s and things like that. But other than that, pretty straightforward, decent hold by him. Well, good hold by him. I mean, he got crazy swarmed and nothing happens. The beauty of tier 5s. So some of you guys have expressed that you guys are kind of over this war, which is why today we're gonna wrap up in a high overview of everything you need to know about this war and things that I learned along the way. Not very specific. If you guys want to see more footage, I have a lot more of like plans and things and attempts that we did to try to stay alive and try to get to that center. If you want to see that, make sure you're smashing that like button, and of course leave me a comment down below and let me know like one more, and I'll make one more video that will have all the little needy little things that we tried to do, sneaky little things that we tried to do that JWM did hold us pretty well and did react really, really well to it. So what can be said about this war that hasn't been said already? Two things I think are missing in our story. Number one is we mentioned yesterday how, or well, yesterday on the previous video, how the psychological warfare was never on our favor. Well, it turns out when you look at the way JWM played, that we beat ourselves up to a crazy point. These guys actually got to a point where they had to double rally us to break our spirit. That's how far we managed to hold them. And truly, if we had at least another 20-25% of the alliance, of the people who weren't participating, who were just gathering and chilling as being part of HURRAH, participate, this could have ended completely differently. Could have, should have, would have, of course, is hindsight is 2020. But still, the fact that people gave up so early is the actual reason why their prediction came to life. So if I were to leave you guys one very important tip, is if you guys are facing a very unbelievably hard fight against you, you either get your alliance to agree, we will be there, we know that we will be there, or get your alliance to not agree to fight. But don't expect that people will just fight. And the other way around, don't expect that you can just sit there and nobody will tell you anything. If the fight is against you, I think that every alliance that is facing something like this needs to sit down and say, are we fighting and are we not? And it can't be leadership saying, yeah, we're fighting. And it can't be the tier 5 saying, yeah, we're fighting. It has to be a poll. Are we fighting? Yes or no? And honestly, those of you out there who don't feel comfortable fighting against in a war that is much harder, it's so much more one-sided on the other side's favor than yours, then don't shy away from telling this to your leadership. Some people were like, yeah, sure, yeah, of course, so they want to keep staying in HURRAH, but when we actually need them, they're not there. This is also important for leadership. You guys got to understand that if your alliance tells you yes, and the likelihood is because you are telling them you have to. Telling your alliance you have to, this is what we do. HURRAH is a war alliance, sure. But if the HURRAH members are not in a mentality, in this mindset of fighting, then we are not a war alliance. And we learned that the hard way. We learned that, unfortunately, the hard way. I'm not saying, by the way, in any shape or form that HURRAH was not filled with warriors. There are plenty of warriors that you guys can see on the screen consistently that never gave up and went all the way to the end. And to this day, even though it's been a few days now where we have realized that it's over, to this day there are people willing to still fight, willing to still try, willing to still do, because it says a lot about the character, about your character, about who you are, if you cannot step up to a challenge and at least do your best. So our push, as you can see, is slowly starting to get taken out. Once the forces came out of Ark of Osiris, that's 30 members that were currently online doing something, and therefore, hey, now we can fight. In the meantime, though, we did place a couple of flags. You can see a couple of flags right there placed to build a little bit of a pushback, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough. HURRAH 2 did manage to lock out those flags, which was a huge success, including placing their own flag, and now came the time to defend, because JWM, we're back, B&W, we're back, and now it was time to hold the door once again on a flag to just stop the double rallies. It was very clear that without the double rallies, JWM's likelihood of continuously hitting us was bigger, and therefore we actually had a chance to hold. So the fight happening here was super crucial, as B&W's rally is hitting the flag. We have Ayla in the area. We have one of my second accounts that had a little bit of tier 4s went to HURRAH 2, sent tier 4s into the flag. It was just everything we can do to just slow down their progress. What else can be said about this war that hasn't been said? That's part number 2 of what I wanted to talk about here. A lot of you have the huge misconception that JWM are an alliance that all they know how to do is swarm and lose tier 5s. I will not tell you that every single JWM player is a top tier player. I will also not tell you that every single tier 5 player within JWM is a top tier player. There are in every alliance out there a spender of some shape or form that doesn't truly know the nitty gritty little things about the game and doesn't truly care about the losses too much. There are like people like that in every alliance, almost. Well, in the top alliances, there's at least in every alliance, one of those. So JWM are a lot more than just this. JWM are an alliance that does insane amount of experimenting, insane amount of adjustments, insane amounts of trying things, how to build things, and just trying to get better and improve at all time. They are an alliance that is so interesting to see how they operate from inside that I was invited by them to come join them, and I obviously the opportunity to be part of the biggest alliance in the game is something I'm really looking forward to. But it wasn't, when we talked about this in the beginning, I wasn't going to even consider migrating before the war was over. This war for me meant a lot more than just making content. It was everything we had been waiting for months and months and months. And while losing as high was very disappointing, I don't think I had any more fun time than I had in this game fighting JWM with the people that I fought, like Premise, like Nico, like Zool, like many others, Ayla and Shingen, and that's just the top of our leadership, right? There are so many players in high that I respect for fighting, for being there. And now the question is where we go forward, right? What do we do from here on? So as I mentioned, there were a few possibilities. I've mentioned this on stream a couple times, a few possibilities for potential migrations. Now, I wanted to tell you guys how I see migration and why I think what I'm doing is very bad. But before that, rally breaks, report is in, Evo holding the flag. Evo, my man, holding the flag. We take more damage, a little bit more damage. Yes, we did. But hey, this is a secondary alliance, not with the top tier players, not with people porting in like crazy from the main alliance. We had one tile where the central fortress was, and anyone who was there are the people fighting. It was Ayla and Hai 2, Ben, and many other of these unbelievable players who were not, you can see tier 3s in this flag. Why? Because they're not necessarily the biggest of players, but the spirit of holding that flag was everything we needed. And unfortunately, as JWM came back into our front gate of Pass 5, let's keep talking a little bit about migration. I think that if Lilith Gaming want to make this game a long-term game, they have to lock out migration once Lost Kingdom starts. We are starting to see the top alliances that lost their Lost Kingdoms because there were some very one-sided, very strong, like Kingdom 51 versus Kingdom 50 and 52, like High versus JWM, like UCS versus Zod and whatnot. And people from there don't want to sit and wait for Lost Kingdom to end. There are many rewards and there's many things still to get done within Lost Kingdom for the next month. And so I think that if the game wants to have longevity, it has to block migration once Lost Kingdom started. You have to play through your Lost Kingdom. But since that's not a thing, we are going to enjoy that little I guess abuse, we would call it. It's not really an abuse, but that little loophole, right? So plenty of alliances were very good options. I'm not gonna go naming all of them, but there were some that I really like, and some that I really had to sit there till the last minute and contemplate whether my choice is good or not. And it might not be, right? I might be leaving within 30 days. I don't really know. But as of right now, the decision is to go into JWM. Now, the main reasons behind going into JWM, before you guys go nuts, okay? Hear me out for a moment. The main reasons behind going out to JWM are, first of all, I want to see how an alliance of such magnitude is managed on a, this is a large scale operation. This is not a typical alliance. This is a very well round the clock alliance, which has some of the best discipline I've seen, and honestly are super strict. I think that it's going to be a very, very interesting thing to see. I also want to show you guys how an alliance like that works. Break that stigma that JWM are all Chinese and Chinese cheaters and Chinese fake credit cards and whatever not. Nothing like that. It's a very international alliance, and I want to show you how it works from the inside. We're going to have so much insight from the top tier of this game that I'm really, really looking forward to show you guys not only how this some of the smartest plays, but also some of their strategies, some of their custom builds for talent trees. They have some of their own talent tree builds that I've heard so many good things about. It's crazy. I've heard, and I can't really comment on it because I haven't seen it yet, that JWM have the best build for Richard that's been tested, and it's every single build has been tested, and their one commander has the best success rate by a significant amount. They have such crazy research, and because they have so many people who don't care to lose, they do the experimenting, the actual groundwork of breaking the mechanics of this game to a point where they can piece them together as they want. So I will be heading towards JWM to see how they operate. I don't know to tell you if this is a long-term thing, if this is a short-term thing, if I'm migrating within 30 days or not. I have no clue. I'm taking a leap of faith into a place that I am not comfortable with, because I know that to a certain extent there are some people in there who are opposed to this move, and there are some people in here as well as within my old alliance in high that are opposed to this. So I'm not looking to make any enemies. I'm not looking to make anyone upset or anyone sad or any of that. I'm looking for better strategies. I'm looking for, honestly, better rewards from Lost Kingdom, because honestly, if I have the rewards, I can make content about the rewards. So for me, it's always content first. So we're gonna migrate to do that. We're gonna show how JWM really operate, and hopefully it'll bring a lot of good insight to you guys who are pushing to be one of the biggest alliances in the game. I know some alliances who are pushing to be the biggest, and I know some of them are very well operated and do also their own research, some of which I also had the pleasure of having the ability to migrate to. But JWM is a monster of some sort of magnitude that even the toughest of opposition fear them. Even those who know how to beat them fear them. So I really want to show you guys how that works from the inside. We keep holding on to rallies, but this didn't last long. Our level 5 pass very quickly ends up falling. We took quite a lot of rallies. We defended it quite a significant amount of time. It wasn't just us losing the pass instantly, but you can see that we were kind of trying to figure out what we're doing with our Alliance Fortress outside the pass, trying to get some solo fighting, trying to get a little bit of ground pushing, and it just didn't work out. It just really, really didn't work out. Once they have the amount of marches they can push onto the field, it is very hard to hold. Now you guys are seeing this pass attack right here was very, very, very strong. One of the stronger ones we had to face. And you can see right here as a, hold 1 second, bam. What a craziness. What crazy, 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 crazy fight. We did get out ahead by a little bit. We did got out ahead by a little bit. Just a little bit. But that didn't last for much long. You guys can see some tier 5s, a little bit of tier 2s, which is really weird in there. Major amounts of tier 5s taking damage. So we were still doing damage even as we defended our level 5 pass. But as time went by, you will see in a moment that the reports kept getting tougher and tougher for us. And when the reports keep getting tougher and tougher for you, it's just impossible to hold. It's impossible to justify the losses. And so the level 5 pass will eventually fall. We had a couple of extra backup ideas of trying to utilize our friends' other zone 5s to try to get in there. We actually managed to pick up a circle and get that a chronicle before JWM got to us on a zone 6 that belonged to R1M to the guys at the bottom left and at the corner at the side left. So we did get a circle. We didn't get its first occupation, but we got the chronicle for it, which was really nice by them. So thank you, R1M, for being so kind and letting us get into a zone where we had no business being in. And JWM actually reacted to that really, really well, and they just went around, picked up the level 5 pass out of R1M, burned us out of existence, and then we had a second attempt where we placed a fortress all the way down at the bottom of the zone 6, and then we noted, and then someone betrayed us. Someone who was playing both sides removed the flag from where we thought was safe, and then allowed JWM to place their own fortress, which then gave them access to the bottom area. And bottom line, as of right now, we have our ancient ruins still. We have a little bit of territory on zone 5. We cannot gather there, but we're at least doing ancient ruins, which as of the time of the recording of this video, I am doing on the phone. And yeah, other than that, game over. High is splitting across to the other alliances that are more favorable to win, as our members really want to enjoy the rewards. We want to come back and rebuild High once Lost Kingdom ends, but hey, if your new home is good, why go back, right? So I don't really know what the future of High is, but as of right now, the war is over. We have been defeated. And yeah, people are spreading across all sorts of kingdoms. I really, really hope that everybody who fought is at least not as disappointed, that people left with their heads high, that people know that at the end of the day, we did everything we could. And I really, really respect everybody who fought, everybody who supported me as well within High. This whole situation sucks because for me, the names like Ayla, Shingen, Zuldark, even Turin, screw you, Turin, even Turin, and a bunch of others that premise, I can go on naming names of people who I've played with for so long, and even people who I remember fighting against who then became friends, and Kirby, who I had very, very big disagreements with, and then we ended up, I ended up having all this respect for him for actually pushing back, fighting, and doing his thing. For now, everybody spread around, and it sucks. I'm gonna miss High and what it was. I hope that we can potentially come back and rebuild and redo, but I also am not holding my breath knowing that this could potentially not happen. There are a few more videos coming up that will have to do with Lost Kingdom. We're going to still cover wars of other Lost Kingdoms, so if you guys have war in Lost Kingdom, hit me up on Discord in the description down below. But there are a couple of extra videos about mechanics of like sneaky things we managed to do and learn to do, which you guys should know, and it's gonna probably help your gameplay a little bit and your experience in Lost Kingdom. There are plenty more videos coming up about player experience, about how to set up your account in a way that you can enjoy your Lost Kingdom, commander pairings for Lost Kingdom, all this Lost Kingdom coverage. We still got plenty to go. There's plenty of time, but as of right now, the big account is done fighting. It will continue to make content, of course, as we keep going through the ziggurat and all that with JWM. But from here on out, we're gonna see primarily more focused in terms of war on the jumper, as the jumper is getting a little bit of a push, getting ready for fights. Plenty of cool stuff coming up, but again, huge shout out to High, huge shout out to every single one of you people who I've had the pleasure to play with for almost a year. How crazy is that? 260 days. But every good thing must come to an end, and just like this war is coming down to its end, so is my time in High, and so is High as a whole in terms of what it was. Hopefully the core of High comes back and we can get things going, but for now, I'm really looking forward for my time in JWM to meet some awesome, very, very smart players. Lots of good content coming out of that powerhouse in the near future, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'm the Gekko. I'm out of here. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. Again, if you guys want a more detailed wrap-up of this war, make sure you smash the like on this video and comment one more down below. If I actually see that you guys really want to see all the nitty-gritty little things, we'll do another pretty long video explaining like small strategies and small ideas and showing you the last few days of kind of like how we went from losing our past 5 to doing everything we can to try to hold on, but at the same time the amount of people who were trying to do things slowly decreased, which made things more and more useless. I'm the Gekko. I'm out of here. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. I'll see you guys sooner rather than later. Take care. Have a great rest of your day. Stay tuned for more content coming to the channel, and of course slap a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. I said that already a million times. Take care. Peace.